All right, today we're cracking open Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. But look, don't think of this as some stuffy, rigid rulebook. It's really more like a map for a grand adventure, your own. This whole thing is a guide to stop being just a spectator and finally start becoming the hero of your own life story.
You know that feeling, right? Like you're watching your own movie from the sidelines. But what if you were never meant for the sidelines? What if you are the main character? That's the huge idea we're going to dive into, how to take center stage in your own story. And that whole journey, well, it begins by mastering your own inner world.
You know, every great hero's journey doesn't start with slaying dragons out in the world. Nope, it starts with conquering the chaos that's right inside you. And your story is no different. Real, profound change, it doesn't happen by trying to fix the world first. It starts with simple, concrete things you can do to bring order to your own life. What's so powerful about these first steps is that you can actually do them right now. Standing up straight with your shoulders back isn't just about posture. It's a physical signal to your brain to actually change your chemistry, to feel more confident, more ready to take on a challenge. From there, you turn that same responsible attitude inward. You start treating yourself with the same care you'd give to someone you were trying to help. And then you sort out your immediate space. You clean your room before you try and clean up the world. It's all about building a solid foundation, one small, deliberate step at a time.
And this is absolutely crucial. These rules are not about making life easy, not at all. They're about making it meaningful. And meaning isn't found in comfort. It's forged when you voluntarily take on something difficult. An easy life can become a really empty life really fast. True purpose, that comes from picking up a worthwhile burden.
Okay, so once you've started to get your inner world sorted out, the hero's journey naturally moves outward. The next chapter is all about navigating the super complex world of other people. Friends, family, society itself. This is where mastering yourself starts to translate into getting along in the world.
And this brings us to a huge trap: comparison. Rule 4 is basically a giant warning sign. Comparing yourself to other people today is a game that is rigged for you to lose. It just breeds resentment and bitterness. The only game worth playing, the only comparison that actually matters, is you today versus you yesterday. Are you a little bit better than you were? That's it. That's the only victory worth chasing.
So this next set of rules is all about how we interact. First up, choose your friends carefully. You want people who are going to lift you up, not drag you down into the mud with them. When it comes to raising kids, the goal is to raise children that other people actually like, which makes their life way easier. In any conversation, just listen. Seriously, assume the other person knows something you don't. It's the fastest way to get smarter. And finally, when you see kids out there taking risks, like skateboarding, leave them alone. Let them learn to be brave.
And let's just sit with that idea for a second, because it's so powerful. Don't bother children when they're skateboarding is really about not overprotecting them. When you jump in and solve a problem for someone that they could have figured out themselves, you're not actually being helpful. You are stealing their opportunity to get stronger, to become more competent. It's literally a theft of their future strength.
So, you started to bring order to yourself. You're learning how to navigate the social world. Now, the journey takes its most important turn: finding your ultimate aim. This is where you shift from just surviving to actually striving for something. It's about lifting your head up and aiming for the highest good you can possibly imagine.
So what do you build that aim on? What's the foundation for any worthwhile goal? Well, according to Peterson, the answer is simple, and it's completely non-negotiable. It's truth. If truth isn't your compass, you're basically lost before you even start. You just can't build a meaningful life on a pile of lies.
This is, you could argue, the absolute core of the entire book. So why is it so critical? Think about it. Every single lie, even the tiny little white ones, corrupts how you see reality. You start to bend and warp the very tool you need to navigate the world, your own judgment. And if you can't trust your own judgment, well, what do you have left?
This all leads straight to a choice you make pretty much every day. The choice between what's easy, or expedient, and what's meaningful. The expedient path is the shortcut. It's the convenient lie, the easy way out. The meaningful path, that's the hard one. It demands sacrifice, it demands truth, but it's the only path that actually leads anywhere worthwhile.
Okay, so how do you actually aim for that meaningful goal? Rule 10 says you do it with your words. Being precise in your speech means you're being precise in your thinking. When you say exactly what you want, and you identify the exact problems in your way, you're not just talking about reality, you're creating a path through it. You can't hit a target you can't see, and precise language, well, that's the arrow you use to hit it.
But look, no hero's journey is a straight line up. Life is full of suffering. So what do you do when the absolute worst happens? When things just completely fall apart? This final chapter is about how to find some grace, some strength in those moments that feel completely unbearable.
So, the final rule. And I'll admit, it sounds almost comically simple. Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. What? But this last rule might just be the most profound one in the entire book. It's a huge metaphor for how to get through it when life reminds you just how fragile everything is.
When tragedy hits, and it will, a serious illness, a loss, a dream that just shatters, the future can look like a giant black hole. The advice here is to shorten your time frame way, way down. Don't worry about next year or even tomorrow. Just focus on the next hour, the next 10 minutes. And in that tiny slice of time, just look for one small, beautiful thing. That cat on the street? It's a reminder that even when you're in the depths of suffering, little pockets of grace still exist, just waiting for you to notice them.
So, these 12 rules, they aren't a rigid prescription for how to live. They're a map. They're a starting point for the great adventure that is your life. It's a framework for building order out of chaos, for dealing with people with integrity, for aiming at the highest good, and for finding grace even in suffering. So, the map is in your hands. The only question left is, what are you going to write in your next chapter?